Welcome back to my channel, friends. My name is Vladimir Valsayev, and I've just climbed up to a mountain. Let's say that because today we're going to make a test flight of a plane that's designed to fly in the mountains. In my opinion, this is one of the best planes, among bush planes, which is designed for landing on unprepared areas and literally everywhere. Please welcome Maule. The Maule Company is not newcomers to the world of aviation. They've long ago begun to produce four-seat aircraft. By the way, they are competitors' Piper Cup. Overall, the Piper Cup, which was created in the late 1930s, and the Blanca, they dominated the bush planes market. And Maule decided to create such a plane, focused on flights in difficult conditions and landing on unprepared territories. So they created a four-seater version, and we've already tested the MX-7 180. But this is the top-of-the-line Maule model, the MX-7 235. It is powered by the Lycoming IO 540 engine with 235 horsepower. The only more powerful model was the MX-7 260, which was fitted with an Allison turboprop engine of 200 horsepower. But what we call off-road in aviation is Land Cruiser, Hummer in one person. And all this can be said about this plane. And again, it's amazing that every plane has its own distinctive parts. And basically, the design of this airplane is extremely simple. A metal welded frame which is covered with fabric plating. But the wings out there are metal. Well, the plane itself was designed with an emphasis on difficult conditions. And if you have a bad landing and somehow you bent the plane, it will be very easy to repair. Sometimes after a bad landing, it's just enough to duct tape the plane and have a little bit of work done by the nearest welder. The utility of this plane is also that you have the ability to fly on a hunt or carry some cargo. The detail out there is removable and there's plenty of space to put something. For example, if you are a skilled fisherman or hunter, then by means of the plane, you can even bring prey with you. By the way, the Maule has a rather long bonnet. The alignment also shows that. And it allows him to carry a huge amount of cargo on the back seats. Theoretically, you could even bring a moose with you. But I'm exaggerating a little. Here we see a very powerful flap, which has a large number of intermediate positions and is controlled manually. Quite similar design is used on Piper as a handbrake. But for a cruise, the plane applies the position where the flaps go up to a negative angle, which means they go up 7 degrees, and this way the plane can fly faster. Well, if we talk about the possibilities, so the speed of this plane is not so small considering its utility. It can fly at an average speed of 110 knots. It is just over 200 kilometers per hour, and this particular modification has additional tanks as well. The main tanks with a capacity of 21.5 gallons in each wing and 15 gallons in addition. And this gives the plane about 5 hours of regular flight. From here, 620 miles. 620 miles is still a great distance for planes where there are no roads. But to deliver people or some cargo at the speed of 120 miles per hour, fly into the mountains or snow-covered Alaska, all this is quite possible. These aircraft are often used on floats, and they can be two versions. A hydroplane on floats or amphibians, capable of also releasing chassis. So you can take off from a regular airfield with a concrete base, then retract the chassis and land on floats wherever you want. No matter what you're planning, hunting, fishing, or you just live in the countryside, which is not easy to get out of. By the way, winter models can often be seen with skis, and that's another feature of that plane. It's so cool to fly this model with skis. I mean, usually when you're landing, the skis kind of stick to the snow a little bit, and it gives you a whole different feel. Except when the plane was out in the cold for a while and the skis froze to the ground, and you have to unstick them. By the way, let me show you an interesting score. In fact, Maule is not the only STOL plane in our airfield. We also have a just aircraft, a super STOL version. It is equipped with a turbocharged Rotax 912, and we've also agreed to make a video for them. I mean, we'll have a test flight of this one as well. So what is the difference between Maule and just aircraft? The first thing, the engines. Super STOL has a smaller one, but the wheels here are larger than the Maule has. There are no slats on Maule, but we see them out there. This plane is lighter, while the second one is stronger. Well, let's compare them and choose which is better. So, in such a configuration, this aircraft is worth a lot indeed. Why? Because you can easily meet this plane somewhere in Canada, in Alaska. That means that the plane is perfect to fly in the northern regions. I guess somewhere in the steppes of Kazakhstan or in the Carpathian Mountains in Ukraine. And essentially, the prices for Maule planes start at $100,000. Well, a new such aircraft will cost you up to $350,000. All depends on the configuration you need. But a really good machine you can look for, starting with $100,000. Through past versions such as MX-4, MX-5, MX-6 can be found a bit cheaper. But I'll repeat myself, this plane will never get old.
Clear drop!
All right, here we go. Feature of steering on planes with a tail wheel is that there are some planes that, if you get to the runway, well, you basically did the job. Like on the Wilga. Vitya, I suppose you flew 300 hours on the Wilga, isn't it? Yeah, they both are really similar, except for the little things. That's true, but Wilga was like, if you get to the runway, then you will definitely take off and fly, as long as the engine works. Where the engine stops working, so the plane stops as well. The Orleanoc is much better in this regard, but it has less stability on the course if a side wind blows. It's so nice that when you're taking off on this plane from a concrete runway, which is actually contradicted for this one, there's no need to go to the very beginning of the runway. We can do that right from here. But surely its perfect locations to take off are grass, stones, sand, and snow. So I really want to say, this is not a plane you can fly on without a smile. Okay, on one hand, it seems so primitive, just trumpets and rags and all very aesthetic. But I found out that it's just an amazing plane that only makes me smile nicely. And I'll probably tell you something more constructive after the landing, because I'm feeling too good right now.
На крайней, да, это понял? Да, ну можно плавно сбрасывать можем, маленько. Все еще. Все. Да ниже. Да ниже. И убираем газ полностью. Нормально. Отлично. Отлично. Ну еще и нормально посадил.
But still, on the grass would be perfect. Without any exaggeration, this is a fantastic plane. I swear, this is a plane that, let's just say, has fascinated me and made me smile over and over again during the flight. And I deeply love what he can do, talking about his short takeoff and landing. All right, we didn't fly far away because this plane isn't about the distance, but rather about the rocky surfaces, sand, shrubs. Not for nothing, it's called a bush plane, which means it's designed for these places. I mean, even legally, he has permission to land on unprepared sites. So you can decide from the air where you want to land. Today, we made the test flight of Maule Mx-7. Well, it is traditionally raining. It's no wonder, and maybe that's what was supposed to happen to this plane, because the dirt is its habitat. It's supposed to be looking for dirt. Today is a wonderful day. I flew on a beautiful plane, was observing our beautiful nature in springtime. My friends, fly on such wonderful planes that we fly. Discover how beautiful our planet is when you see it in 3 dimensions. My name is Vladimir Valsiev. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.